What's going on, Lakers fans? Welcome into the Lakers Report by Chat Sports. I am your host of today's show, Allie Barefoot. My producer, Smitty, is right here to the right. And on today's show, we're going to be talking about Zach LaVine's availability. Of course, there was a report that showed that the Bulls are still listening to possible trade talks about their star player. And of course, we're going to take a look at what the Los Angeles Lakers could possibly have to do in that discussion. We do have a quote here from Jamal Collier of the ESPN that says, "Rival teams have checked in with the Bulls about LaVine's availability," team and league sources told ESPN, but no team has been willing to meet Chicago's reportedly large asking price. LaVine is now 28. He's owed $129 million over the next 3 seasons and owns a $48.9 million player option in 2026 and 27. Now, this is a very large asking price, but Zach LaVine is still a predominantly very good player in the Chicago Bulls franchise, despite being 28 years old. He's averaged about over 24 points a game the last 4 seasons. He's obviously a very sharp shooter. Of course, the assists are kind of right there, almost averaging about 5 a game, which could be very lethal in the Lakers offense. So overall, we all understand why Zach LaVine is this expensive player. His catch and shoot 3-point percentage is about 41%, which is pretty good for a 28-year-old for the Chicago Bulls. His pull-up 3-point percentage 34, not the best, but we know that he can do it with catch and shoot, and he's less than 10 feet shooting. Field goal percentage is amazing. 62.7%. He's obviously a big difference maker on the offense. So in terms of what this would actually look like for the Los Angeles Lakers, I think ultimately it's unlikely, just because I think the Lakers would have to give up way too much of their depth to be able to obtain somebody like Zach LaVine, because there's no doubt he's an awesome player. He would obviously elevate the Los Angeles Lakers, but you have to weigh the pros and cons in terms of what you would be willing to give away to obtain somebody that's already 28 years old. So we're going to take a look at the possible trade idea of being able to give away some players from the Los Angeles Lakers to get somebody like Zach LaVine, because a majority of the Lakers' tradable assets won't even be able to be moved until December 15th. And if the Chicago Bulls are listening to trade offers right now, I highly doubt Zach LaVine will be available by that time. But we did go ahead and sweep up a little trade idea right now. The Lakers would receive Zach LaVine from the Chicago Bulls. And as you can see, they'd be giving up a lot to obtain this player. D'Angelo Russell, Hachimura? I always mess up that name. Hachimura, Austin Reaves, and of course some draft compensation. So right there, I know Lakers fans aren't getting rid of Austin Reaves. They love him way too much. D'Angelo Russell, you just got this man the past 2 years. I would not want to give up D'Angelo Russell that quickly. And, of course, some draft compensation. You don't want to give away future draft picks for somebody that's already 28 years old. So I would stay far away from this deal. Of course, this is what we had to cook up, because this is what we possibly would have to give away in terms of what Chicago would ask for. But ultimately, I do not like this deal. I think Zach LaVine is a great player, but I think the Lakers can still be contenders with the roster that they currently have. But I want to ask you guys, would you do this deal? Type A for accept, type D for decline. I'm going to put my vote in right now, and I would type D for decline. This is asking way too much to give away for Los Angeles Lakers, but go on ahead and type in the comments. And while you guys are doing that, I want you to hear about today's sponsor, Prize Picks. It is my favorite app to go to. It's so easy to use. All you do is pick more or less on a player's projected stats, about 2 to 6 players you can pick from. You can do this with almost any sports organization that is out there. You can even do NBA preseason. You can do NBA before the regular season starts. NFL, MLB, MLS. It's so easy to use, and you can win up to 25 times your money on any entry. Of course, I already went on ahead and picked LeBron James to have more than 27.1 points per game this season, Anthony Davis to have more than 11.7 rebounds per game this season, and Austin Rivers to at least have 1.5. I think I picked rebounds for that one. Honestly, I don't remember what that was. But either way, I want them to all have more. And if you guys think you had these picks, or if you want to make your own picks, all you have to do is go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use promo code CLNS. You can get a first-time deposit match up to $100, and you can watch yourself win some real money in real time. Now, of course, with the new NBA rule, It does allow these teams to kind of work on load management, but they could possibly be fined over $1 million for violating this rule. Of course, you cannot rest more than one All-Star on any given night. And of course, that does apply to LeBron James and Anthony Davis because they both have been All-Stars in the past 3 years. Unless it's determined they're actually injured, then that's a different circumstance right now, but they still must play at least 60 games to be considered for NBA awards. So it looks like, despite this load management rule, they're still going to play. They're still going to probably rest LeBron James because you want to make sure that he is healthy throughout the season. But we do have a quote from Darvin Ham, who did discuss this on LeBron managing his load. Now that we have, top to bottom, what we feel like is a highly, highly balanced, skilled, and athletic younger team of guys that have logged a ton of NBA minutes, we can surround both he and AD with these players who are coming and eager to contribute. That's going to allow us to be able to be more efficient with his game-to-game minutes. That is fantastic to hear, honestly, talking about LeBron James, because we've seen him sit the past couple of seasons just because he's getting up there. He's entering his 21st season of NBA basketball, guys. He's obviously still one of the best players in the entire league, but you got to be careful with him because when you look at his minutes per year, he's playing almost 40 minutes a game. That's going to be way too much if you want to be contenders in the playoffs because you need to have your best player playing in the playoffs to be actual champions, which of course that's always going to be LeBron James. And I say that you need to sit LeBron James for majority of the regular season games over Anthony Davis. I see Anthony Davis is actually working on his three-point shooting in the preseason, so that's going to be great to have him on the floor, but I would definitely rather sit LeBron James and AD because you need to keep that star power locked and loaded and keep him healthy. But I want you guys to take a guess. Just like we said, we're going to play with prize picks. We want to go ahead and put these down in the comments. More or less, LeBron James will have 35 minutes per game this year. Type M for more, type L for yes. I want to go with less, but I'm talking like 33 minutes, 34 minutes. I don't think Darvin Ham can really afford to sit LeBron James this much throughout the regular season. I want him to have rest, of course, just because LeBron James is one of the greatest basketball players in the franchise history and in the league, but you don't want to play him more than 35 minutes because you can risk injury. The Los Angeles Lakers have played 2 preseason games so far for this NBA season. Of course, they did lose to the Golden State Warriors this over the weekend. That was their first loss, but they did take a win against the Brooklyn Nets on Monday night. And if you look at the top scorers, it's of course Hachimura, Austin Reaves, Anthony Davis, about 19 points, 18 points, and 13 points. Now, we just heard Darvin Ham say that he has felt a lot of confidence in these younger players. Well, of course, Hachimura and Reaves fall in that category, both being 25 years old. And then we see Anthony Davis, who's actually now starting to get a little bit of rhythm heading into this season. So it looks like a lot of rotational players did end up playing in the Brooklyn Nets game. Of course, we did also see some bench players play against the Warriors, but it wasn't that impressive. Christian Wood had about 5 points. Cam Reddish played with 1 point. Taurean Prince had 2 points, so you really need to have a lot more flexibility with these bench players if you want to continue leaning on him, like Darvin Ham said. But ultimately, the Lakers have to clean it up when they go into the regular season because you can't be giving up 126 points during the regular season because you guys are going to be tired playing 3 or 4 games a week, especially if you're going to be resting one of your best players like LeBron James. So ultimately, while they have had 1 win in the preseason, it's not enough if the Lakers want to continue to win in the regular season by giving up nearly 130 points a night. But they did not have a couple players play. Of course, Jared Vanderbilt did not play, and Hachimura did not play because of his heel and his knee. So this does go to show that while they didn't have some key players, they can still contend and keep up with somebody like the Brooklyn Nets. Of course, Ben Simmons did come out and actually had a pretty impressive game. So I think ultimately taking away from these 2 preseason games, the Lakers do have a lot to clean up. But Darvin Ham says he wants to rely on some younger players, so let's see what he can do. Go on ahead and subscribe to the Lakers Report here at Chat Sports because we're always giving you the most up-to-date information about the Los Angeles Lakers, whether it's regular season, preseason, or the postseason. Go on ahead and hit that sub button for me.